review a book for you today, and that's going to be Everything I Never Told You by Celeste in G. I was sent this book by Penguin for review, and let me tell you a little bit about it. It is actually an adult book, which I did not know when I was reading it. I should have put that together, but I just didn't. It's a mystery book. It's all about a family in the 1970s, a mixed Chinese-American family, and it's all about the death of the middle daughter. Now, that's not spoiling anything because the first sentence literally in the book is Lydia is dead and they don't know it yet. So it's all about death of the daughter, the events leading up to her death, and even after her death. So this book is all about like the mystery behind what really happened by Lydia's death, what caused it, what made it, do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's talk about it. I gotta say, I love this book. I devoured it in a day and a half, which says a lot for me because, well, I don't know, I've been reading fast lately, but I really haven't read any mystery, so I decided to read this, and I am so glad I did. It was a phenomenal read. It will keep you guessing. It'll keep you wanting to you will not want to put it down because you get so engrossed in it, and it was just overall amazing. So if I were to recommend you this book, I would definitely recommend it because it was just so good. It had me on edge, it had me wanting more, and the writing was just very poetic, very beautiful, and it introduces you to all these members of the family, and you learn all about their secrets and stuff like that. So if I were to give it a rating, I would give it a 5 out of 5 for sure because I just loved it, and I thought this was a great book, and this is actually her debut book, so I'm hoping that she writes more books in the future so I can read and devour them whole. Book, when I went into it, I thought it was going to be all about, like, you know, the aftermath of Lydia's death, the aftermath of, you know, of how her family deals with it, how her family copes with it, what they go through it. But this book is definitely not that. In fact, Lydia is very much alive in a lot of this book because the timeline switches frequently. So, you know, in fact, we get different perspectives of different family members and we get different timelines of them. So Lydia is alive through a good chunk of this book. See a lot of what happened before her death and, you know, try to piece things together, try to figure out why, what happened, what caused this, what made this happen. And in fact, it like just serves as like, her death serves as like a catalyst maybe, or I don't know what the right word is for it, but you get to see the parents before they even met, like they're growing up, how grew up affected their decisions in life. Like, you know, you have the mom who is a typical American girl with honey blonde hair, I believe, and she wanted to be different. She wanted to break the mold. She wanted to be a scientist, you know, she wanted to show everyone that she could do it. Just because she was a girl in the 1950s doesn't mean anything, you know, and she wanted to be different. Now, take the father, for example, and completely flip that around. He was born in California, but he is 100% Chinese. His family had immigrated over here. So he was kind of different in the fact that he didn't want to stand out. He rather wanted to blend in. He wanted to submerge himself in the American culture. So no one really would pay attention that he was Chinese, that he just wanted to be normal. So you have two parents that are coming from two different mindsets, you know. One wanted to stand out, wanted to be extraordinary. One just wanted to fit in and just be of the norm. So these two met and they got married, obviously, and they had children. So you can just see how that decisions right there will affect their children's decisions because, you know, when you're parents, you do influence your kids a lot and you can either really push them for decisions or let them, you know, go their own way. Well, these parents, I gotta say, is quite messed up. It might be one of the most dysfunctional families I've ever read. And I've read some dysfunctional families. But the title of this book just says it all. Everything I Never Told You. This family literally tells everybody nothing. Like, if there's a problem, you don't talk about it. If there's, you know, if you have pent up feelings, you just don't say anything. There's so many secrets behind each member of the family that you're just like, seriously, just communicate. Just communicate, and that's all you need to do, you know. It's ridiculous how much they don't communicate. And just because of that, you get to see how this family gets so dysfunctional, gets so messed up because nobody says anything. It's just kind of going with the flow, going with the pattern of what a typical family should be. And I did, as much as I hated, I was like, this is a horrible family dysfunctionally. But I loved reading it because it just makes you think of like maybe your future family, like, you know, I'm definitely not going to do stuff like that, or just, you know, try to analyze it and stuff like that. So I loved it for that part. So like I said, you know, we get to see the parents. We also get to see all three of the kids. So We have Nate, who is the oldest, who is the boy, and he's a good character. He's, you know, got some flaws. He has things he hasn't said, and he's just ready to get out of town. He's ready to get out of his family and all that stuff. Then we have Lydia, who was the middle child, who was like the most, she's the favorite, let's be honest here. The mother adores her. The mother pushes her to be a scientist because her mother never got to be a scientist because she had kids. And then we have Hannah, the youngest, who is kind of in the background that doesn't get much attention, but she like deciphers and figures out things the most. Like she knows the most in this family because she just watches everything. So we get viewpoints from all 5 different family members. We get different timelines. We get to see Lydia like before, like way before her death. We even get to see the family after her death. So it was amazing for that. Jumping timelines, jumping perspectives. I thought it was flawlessly written. I didn't get confused once, I don't think. Maybe I did a couple times, but it wasn't like to the point I was like, ugh. Anyway, this book was freaking amazing. Like, oh my gosh. Like if you really want to read a book about a family and how, you know, how much, and you know what, it really delves into like racial stuff, because in the 1970s, Chinese American families, you know, weren't as accepted as they are now. You know, now I think it's totally okay, 100%, but back then it was very much different. It was very much like different. Like the kids were the only, you know, Chinese American kids in their whole school, so they were easy to tell apart. It was just, you know, it was hard growing. It was hard being in that time period for them, so that was good for that. That is all for me, guys. Pick up this book because I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. And if you are of the younger age and you're wondering, should I read this, should I not? I think it's safe to say it's just kind of sad, it's kind of dramatic, and it's full of mystery. So, you know, I'm gonna let you be your own judge on that one. That is all for me, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.